This story is called The Man in the Well by Ira Shear. The story is about a group of children that find a man stuck in a well. The man asks them to tell their parents for help, but they choose to lie, and instead they choose to bring him food, keep him in the well, and talk to him. As he learns their names, they grow afraid and uncomfortable, and they abandon the man, leaving him stuck in the well, leaving him alone in despair. One theme of The Man in the Well is even in their later years, people may have trouble forgiving themselves for bad things they did when they were young. The theme is emphasized because the author wrote this story as a memory from his childhood, and he is now an adult. The author explains in the story the specific details of that night and how he never went back to the well. The author clearly does not have closure on not helping the man in the well and regrets it. This story is written in first-person point of view. The author tells his story as a memory from his childhood. From the children's perspective, the man in the well is scary and they don't want him to find out who they are. The author was 9 when him and his friends discovered the man in the well. They were playing a game when they found the well and heard the voice of the man in the well crying out for help. The well was too dark to see the man. The man in the well is asking the group of friends to go get help, but instead they continue to lie and ask him questions. After the man discovers that no one is coming to rescue him from the well, he asks the children for their names, and they tell him. The group of kids decide to leave the man in the well and never come back. The group of friends decided to never go back to the well again, regretting their decision. Everyone in the friend group was on the verge of helping the man in the well, but they all decided not to. There was no specific reason why they decided not to help the man in the well, but they had power in their own hands and they're very curious, so they decided to keep it a secret. This story takes place in an abandoned farm lot near the author's house. The children would talk to the man from morning to evening on sunny days, and it rained the night they decided they would abandon the man completely. The group of children won't get help for the man in the well, whose identity remains secret. The protagonist or main character in the story is the man in the well. His identity was never revealed, but he experienced the consequences of the children not getting help. He also answered questions that the children asked him. The antagonist in the story is the group of children because instead of getting help for the man, like he repeatedly asked, they questioned and lied to him. They eventually abandoned him. The story mostly uses indirect characterization. The character traits of the children are portrayed through their actions, words, and thoughts. In the story, they were helpless and irresponsible. The author regrets his decision for not getting help for the man in the well. He shows guilt and resentment towards his actions. This story uses many similes to describe how the author was feeling. A simile in this story is, I know that none of us ever saw the man in the well. The well was too dark for that, too deep, even when the sun was high up, angling light down the stone sides like golden hair. This simile is comparing light from the sun and golden hair. The author describes how they heard the man in the well and how they heard him calling and asking for help. At the end of the story, it rained and the author's mother was sobbing, and the author felt regret and decided to never go to the well again. The rain could have been a symbol of sorrow and anger. There are no examples of metaphors in this story, and there are no examples of personification in the story.